Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's Spoiler Final video. Going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 9th of October and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with GFS and ECM ensembles may run around in a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFSV2 at the end of the video. Next 4 weeks, that will get us into the second half of October. I'll get on that for you in a moment. Just say that the first video receipt was our 6am upload, and we've also released European Outlook as well, so please check out both two vids if you'd like to do that. Please like, share, subscribe on videos, and thank you so much everybody for doing that. Right, so been going a little bit quieter now in the tropical Atlantic. We've still got Ian. It is now a tropical storm. And we've got 11 just here. Let's deal with 11 first of all. So this is Tropical Depression 11. And I can tell you it's giving maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour. So it's going to be a very short-lived tropical depression. Current position is just there. By tomorrow, we'll be getting post-tropical and dying a death. And then, of course, we've got formerly Major Hurricane Ian. That was a Category 4 hurricane yesterday. High-end Category 4, almost Category 5. Making landfall on the west coast of Florida with maximum sustained winds of 155 miles per hour. Now, its tropical storm, Ian, has weakened a lot over Florida and currently giving maximum sustained winds of 65 miles per hour. Clicking on Ian and going here, we can see that it's going to retain tropical storm status as it moves back out into the Atlantic. They're going to curve northwards into South Carolina through the course of tomorrow, and then as a tropical depression will be up somewhere near North Carolina or Virginia on Saturday. And I think that's as far north as it'll get, really. I don't think it'll get a great deal further north than that. It's going to run into a big area of high pressure city across the northeast America. Other than that, there's not much else to be seen. So it does look as though we're going into a slightly quieter period now after a very active period over the past few weeks. Last couple of weeks been very active, particularly the last week. Now it looks like things are quietening down a little bit for the time being, so we should wait and see what happens after that. CT, I don't think is updated, so no, that is still provisional to the 27th at 14.9. We may not get another update now until, you know, we get into October. Wait, so I'll keep an eye on it. If we do get an update, then of course I will update you on that. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. On Leeds today, red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Leeds. We're starting off below average at the moment. We're going to say generally average or below into the opening couple of days of October. But early next week, it is going to warm up quite a bit for a couple of days before the upper air temperatures then cool back down close to average. Precipitation-wise, going to be some very wet and windy weather tomorrow. Check out the 6am upload for more on that. And could be wet again over the weekend. After that, next week looking a little bit drier. Still showery, but a little bit dry, I think, through particularly the early part of next week. Into the second week of October, it might start to get a bit more unsettled. Temperature anomalies on the 29th of September to 7th of October going to be a little bit above average, and precipitation anomalies from the 29th of September to 7th of October going to be wetter than average in most areas away from the extreme south, and that's particularly so for central, northern and western regions. The latest wind blowing that from Irvine Null School up next shows up. We're still bringing wind from an east to northeasterly direction today, so it remains pretty cool across most parts of the country. We've got lots of low pressure out of the Atlantic, and this is a system that's going to be heading our way overnight tonight, and particularly through the course of tomorrow. Right, so this is how late you commit Euro. You're talking midnight on Sunday. Showery westerly winds really on Sunday. Into the part of next week, high pressure trying to build to the south. Drags up some warmer air from the southwest for a while, but low pressure out to the northwest keeps wet windy weather going up there, and that pushes another band of rain through during the middle of next week. That could be quite heavy, and then we're back into showery westerlies again really as we go to this time next week. As far as we get to, if you commit your is to 6th of October, And with showery western winds in the north, trying to build a bit of high pressure down in the south. Icon looks like that once more, showing westerly winds on Sunday into the part of next week. High pressure builds to our south-southwest. That drags up something warmer from the southwest for the early part of the week, but low pressure quickly bringing another band of rain through during the middle part of the week, and looking quite unsettled actually with Icon through like the middle part of next week. That's as far as we get to the 6th of October, midday on 6th of October. And again, low pressure is in the ascendancy. So the build of high pressure only lasts a couple of days through Monday, possibly Tuesday, and then it's pushed away by low pressure. GFS midnight run showing low pressure bringing showery conditions over the weekend. Then we get this build of high pressure through the early part next week. That brings drier and warmer weather, especially to the south. Over north will continue to be a little bit more on the unsettled side. Middle of the week will push a band of rain through the country, and then we return back to those showery westerly winds again. Heading up towards day 10, high pressure is centred just to our west-southwest. We keep wind in from like a west-northwesterly direction, so it remains a little bit on the cool and showery side up to day 10. Beyond that, never really settling down. Low pressure coming in through the second week of October as well, maintaining rather cool and at the very least showery conditions. So no particular build of high pressure on the GFS midnight run. Again, we've seen like a swing back to more showery and cooler conditions now for the first half of October, with the GFS output after yesterday really going to town with the idea of high pressure. So swinging from run to run, day to day, between higher pressure solutions and lower pressure solution. Today we've definitely gone back to those lower pressure solutions on the midnight GFS run. This is with GFS 6Z, and once more it looks rather showery over the weekend into early part of next week. High pressure brings drier and warmer weather, particularly so to the south, but by midweek another area of low pressure brings further unsettled conditions off the Atlantic. Up to day 10, more in way of higher pressure with the GFS 6Z run, keeping or turning things pretty dry then. And then we head up towards the Exeter range with the GFS midnight run, and 6Z run I should say. And again, we've got high pressure trying to get itself going, particularly affecting southern areas, most unsettled up in the north, classic north-south split. With that, if you enjoyed the video, please you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much everybody for doing that, and drop a comment and let us know what you think about all of our videos. And thank you so very much for doing that. GEM is showery with those westerly winds on Sunday, varying to higher pressure through the early part of next week, but it is unsettled up in the north. And up to day 10, GEM actually has more in the way of a ridge of high pressure, so the GEM is more towards higher pressure as we get days 8, 9, 10 or so. And then the ECM I hope you're following all this, it's very, very complicated. The ECM, once more, is rather showery on Sunday. Then over the week, over the open next week, higher pressure builds up from the southwest, brings drier and warm weather to the south, but the north will be a little bit more unsettled. Weather system moves through midweek, brings a band of rain across the country. And then up towards day 10, the ECM also with a little bit more influence from high pressure just to our southwest, certainly for England and Wales anyway. Keeps things mostly dry there, whereas Scotland does look a little bit more unsettled. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Treadshow.com. Here's all the rain piling in from the Atlantic tomorrow. It's going to be very wet and windy tomorrow. Then into showery weather over the weekend with a more longer spell of rain patch down in the south from Saturday into Sunday. Open next week goes drier away from Scotland and Northern Ireland, where we have some outbreaks of rain until midweek, and then that rain pushing southwards across England and Wales as well. Beyond that, a lot of dry weather down in the south. Some showery conditions continue though up in the north, so a bit of north-south split gets going there between around days 7 and 10. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble today for day 10, which gets us to the 9th of October. From the Icelandic Met Office, 15 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure right in over top of the coast, actually mostly dry. And that's been mostly dry. It does include the operational run as well. We've got 15 with low pressure up to the north and high pressure to the southwest. That's mainly dry for the south, but mostly dry up in the north. 14 with high pressure just to our southwest, low pressure to our northeast. So that's going to be a drier for the west and the southwest, but will be a bit on the cool side with winds coming in from the northwest. And then we have 7 with high pressure to the north and northeast. So that's setting up high pressure towards Scandinavia. Mostly dry, but that's pulling in quite a cool east or northeasterly wind. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It will go to the 14th of October. 18 members of the ECM ensembles then have high pressure just to our west, and we will bring in like a northwesterly with that. Possibly even rather northerly. So that's going to be cool, but should be mostly dry to the west anyway. And then another 18 here with low pressure to the northwest of Scotland. That's going to be rather more showery with westerly winds. And then we've got 15 with high pressure somewhere towards Scandinavia, and that brings the wind in from the east, mainly dry, but again could be a little bit on the cool side with those easterly winds. Most of the options still seem to involve high pressure with the ECM ensembles through like the second week of October, but where that high pressure sits is going to be very, very critical as to the feel of the weather, I think. GFS reads you finally. These are 500 millibar high thermometers break down into week periods. The first week period takes from the 29th of September to the 5th of October. Low pressure is in off the Atlantic, so rather showery in the week ahead. Week 2 is going to be the 6th to the 12th of October with low pressure to our east and northeast. High pressure in the middle of the Atlantic heading up towards Greenland. That again will be quite unsettled and showery, and could be rather cool as well actually, with winds coming in from like the northwest. Week 3 is going to be the 13th to the 19th of October. This is very different from what we've been seeing from the CFS in recent days for October, I must say. Low pressure in the north and west of Europe with high pressure blocking around Iceland and Greenland. That's proper northern blocking. That will bring the wind in from the north or from the northeast. So that's going to be really quite cool, maybe even rather cold and showery. And then week 4 is going to be the 20th, 26th of October, still with lower pressure around the country. High pressure moving more towards the Canadian side of the Arctic. And so, although unsettled, that will be a little bit milder as the wind comes in from the southwest. But certainly with CFS today, and it is quite a big change what I've been seeing from the CFS over recent days. CFS today is looking rather unsettled, I have to say, rather wet and low pressure dominated. And also quite cool, or even maybe even cold at times. Which, again, it's a big change what CFS has been showing over recent days. And it just goes to highlight the uncertainty about the weather going forwards into October, I think. So let's just wait and see what happens. Right, we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Don't forget to tell your friends to subscribe as well. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And we thank you so very much for doing that. We've got to put on around 30 subscribers. That's all, 30 subscribers to get ourselves to 14.5k, 14,500. We'll be halfway then to 15k. So how exciting is that? Please give us a sub. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, just coming up tomorrow, we're going to have the 6 AM upload JMA Friday and a 10 to 14 day ahead as well. So check out tomorrow's content if you do. And if you do subscribe, you'll be able to see future weather content, and who won't want to do that? But for this video and for today's videos, that's all for now, and thanks so much.